This week on Engage the Sage.
Hi, welcome to Engage the Sage. Today we're going to be talking about how to get your students to use their voice in class. I think one of the best things that we can remember as teachers is we're equipping our students with skills that they're going to use in other places at other times in their life. Your student's voice is their most powerful tool. It's the way that they can advocate for themselves, the way they can advance their goals, the way they can be activistic, the way that they can advocate for others. It's an amazing thing, and we have to nurture that in our classes, in my opinion. What I do in larger classes, kind of fun. So I have 200 students typically in my intro psychology courses, and I don't have the opportunity to answer 200 questions, but I might have the opportunity to answer 60 to 80. So what I'll do is I'll have them group up on that first day of class, groups of 2 or 3, and they write one question that they'd like me to answer. On the second day of class, I come in and put them all on PowerPoint slides. And I have different slides for different themes. So there might be a theme for class content. There might be a theme for specific questions about my thoughts on psychology. There might be questions about my background and experience. And what I do on that second day of class is I go through and I answer every single question that they've asked.
Why is majoring in psychology a good idea? What do you get out of it to apply to everyday life? I think of psychology as a study of everyday life. The stuff that I see people do, myself included, I have names for. Doesn't mean I'm better at avoiding those kinds of things, but I have names for the things that we do. And what happens is, when I'm parenting my kids, for instance, I can draw on some of my training as a psychologist in doing that. When I'm teaching a class, I can draw on some of that training and apply it to the teaching setting. So what I think is there's a lot of applicability, there's a lot of relevance to the information that we're going to cover. And hopefully you're going to get to see that over the course of the class. And I'm going to prompt you to think about it in personally relevant ways as we go. What is the hardest concept to teach us? And the next one was similar. Easiest and most difficult sections for students to learn. The hardest to teach you and the most difficult, I believe, is instrumental and classical conditioning. What are some good note-taking skills? I recommend making sure that everything you write down has meaning. As I said, I want to be a psych major, but I'm not sure which branch. I'm hoping this class will help. Me too.
Now, what I find is that this is a really, really engaging day. But a lot of students tell me that this is not how their first weeks in school usually go. They're not used to the professors asking them to hear what they want to know. And you're setting this norm immediately, that when they ask you a question, you take it seriously, and you're going to try your best to answer it, that their voice matters. And now what you're doing is you're allowing them to collaborate with you on their educational experience. But what is probably most amazing is by setting this norm that their voice is important and that I want to hear their questions. At the end of that class and at the end of every other class that semester, I have a lot of people at the end who come up with their questions. Because some people would rather have that interaction with me one-on-one than in front of a large group. And I understand that. 200 people, sometimes it's hard to talk in front of 200 people. And for those of you who have taught to 200 people, you understand what I'm saying there. But what this does, it creates an attention on them and a rapport between me and them that sets a solid foundation for really engaging learning going forward. So this week, in your next class, I want you to find a way to get your students empowered in using their own voices. I want you to find a way to validate them using their voices. And I want you to find some way to make that learning and that teaching a collaborative educational experience that you're going to engage in, that they're going to engage in, and that they're going to remember. And after you've done that, leave a comment. Let us know how it went. We're really excited to see this work for you. Thank you for joining us on Engage the Sage. Like, subscribe, sign up for notifications for our next video. We'll see you next time.